Hello, I am Fernanda Paiva from Hitchhiking Stars, bringing you astrological insights and symbolism for you to make the most. Take as an opportunity for growth, for self-awareness. So we're going to be talking about the new moon. So this coming new moon now on the 21st of March, 2023, which is going to be happening at 0 degrees Aries. Now 0 degrees Aries is a very powerful degree. It's the very beginning of Aries. It's the very beginning of the astrological year, in fact, and it really gives me this sense of, wow, what a powerful way to start. It's like we're literally on the zero, like on this this sense of like, I don't know, I have pictures of like blossoms and like, you know, the nature kind of picking up again, like spring sort of taking over or beginning to take over, and the power and the strength of nature when everything is sort of being reborn and coming to life again, and it's just this amazing imagery that I straight away kind of relate to that degree of Aries. So this is a very powerful new moon, like sort of coming together with the spring equinox. So wonderful for rituals, wonderful for really inviting, you know, the energy of spring and rebirth. I think one of the great things about spring is that sense of rebirth, of having that energy to start again, to continue on our journeys, but refreshed, renewed somehow. The Sabian symbol for 0 degrees Aries is a woman has risen out of the ocean. The seal is embracing her. And I think that image in particular does remind me, I think there is a tale, isn't it? A story from Scandinavia, I think, of the seal woman that would come out of the sea. And it kind of like gives me that, I really have this vivid image as I think about this degree of Aries. And I think what I really connect with this symbolism in this whole idea is the sense of renewal, is the sense of beginning of the cycle, of really shedding skin, right? Shedding old skins, like growing in confidence and being able to take steps, take action towards where we want to be, really, towards becoming who we want to become as well. It's like taking action as a sort of a young energy, so it's full of young energy here in this new moon Aries, and a sense of really being more assertive as well with our life cycles, with where we want to be. So the seal, you know, the sense of the seal embracing and the woman rising from the ocean. I mean, we're just coming out of Pisces season, and Pisces season has this emphasis on the ocean, right? The ocean is symbolic of the collective unconscious as well, and so that sense of merging, that sense of being part of something larger, of finding challenging to set boundaries. So that woman rising from that ocean and with this seal, you know, is sort of giving this sense of like we're emerging from that sense of unity and shedding an old skin and really getting ready for stepping into this new cycle, this new year as well, this new astrological year. So it's a very exciting new moon, and is also during this new moon in particular, Saturn will have already moved into Pisces. So Saturn is already at 1 degree Pisces and is already reflecting another new cycle that's happening within. Remember, I love to think about astrology as cycles within cycles within cycles. So there are many different levels and different cycles that are coexisting and happening together. And the Saturn cycle has already changed and shifted in March, and I think it was on the 8th of March that Saturn shifted to Pisces. So from Aquarius to Pisces, from its own realm, right? Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and stepping into these more watery dimension. So Saturn in Pisces there will challenge our dreams. We'll be like, okay, remember that new moon in Pisces that I was talking about, dreams that needs to have a way of coming to fruition. That new moon in Pisces is very strongly talking about dreams and intentions that could become reality, not just escapism. So, well, that Saturn in Pisces will be challenging all of that and is part of this new astrological cycle with that new moon 0 Aries. I'm looking at this chart, the new moon chart right now, and it's very interesting. So we have a stellium, which is a group of planets in Aries. We have the moon, the sun, Mercury, Chiron, and Jupiter as well, all in Aries. And there's this strong emphasis in this sort of like, where can I take action? Where can I sign it? Where can I do it? This sort of burst of energy of like, okay, I'm ready. I think when I think about Aries, I think about this energy like, okay, I'm ready. When? Where are we going? How? Feeling. And obviously when we have a strong stellium like that, a strong emphasis on this energy, and again, because Jupiter and Chiron are so close to each other, we're still very much aware of where our wounds are, where our individual wounds are, and where the healing needs to be taking place. But we feel more driven towards taking action, right? So the ruler of all of these planets in Aries is Mars, and Mars is at 28 degrees Gemini during this new moon. But what's beautiful of that Mars at 28 Gemini, that is close to make a move and to step into Cancer. And we had Mars in Gemini since October. So it's a big one. It's like Mars has been in Gemini since October. So it's been really quite a few months of us, dwelling in that energy and action that relates to ideas and rethinking how we assert ourselves verbally, for example, with that Mars in Gemini. Well, in 4 days, so after this new moon, in 4 days only, Mars is going to move to Cancer. And the interesting thing as well of that movement from Gemini to Cancer is that it will be forming a grand trine. So that will be this great configuration there between Mars in Cancer, Saturn in Pisces, and the South Node in Scorpio as well. So for me, the formation, which is already there with this new moon, is kind of like coming to happen, is like beginning to happen. It does seem to be a very healing configuration. Something about being able to let go of old grudges, I think, with that Mars going there, old angers as well. Being able to protect our own energy fields as well. Being able to set boundaries in a more loving way. So if you've been wanting to set boundaries and you're not so sure, I think this is also there. So this is also happening shortly after this new moon in Aries. So it does have something to say about boundaries and about letting go of these old ways, represented by that South Node in Scorpio. It's like letting go of old emotions, old grudges, old things that we've been holding on that are preventing us from taking that step, shedding that skin, as represented by that new moon in Aries, right? So there's something about that that's going to be very under the spotlight for this new cycle. And also Venus is in Taurus. So Venus here is in its own sign, is conjoined the North Node in Taurus as well. And I have this sense of like, get aware and acquainted with your values and really use it as a compass for all of these actions and these different things that you're going to be doing as well. Like the growth is towards the stability with, the North Node in Taurus and Venus there as well. It's like stability is where our growth is. We have to stop creating, recreating crisis for the sake of it. That's the South Node in Scorpio, right? Destroying things for the sake of it. It's really about building something. Yeah, the energy of this new moon is very fresh, is very powerful, and is about creating new structures, creating new, more stable structures in our lives, more stable relationships in our lives, healing our ability to say no, healing our ability to set boundaries as well, healing our individual wounds, the wounds around our sense of individuality, our sense of separation as well, with that emphasis in Aries, and that Mars just about to create that beautiful grand trine. During this new moon, the other layer and the last layer that I want to mention is that Pluto is at 29:58 minutes of arc. It's really, really close to the 60 minutes, like 2 minutes away from shifting into Aquarius. So something about regeneration there that's greatly emphasized. The new moon is a sextile to this Pluto and is really beautifully dialoguing with this planet. And I think that image of the woman emerging from the sea with a seal, and thinking about the seal skin in the stories as well, it fits really nicely with the sextile between the sun and the moon and Pluto. So really regenerating ourselves, shedding these old skin, and getting ready for Pluto entering Aquarius. Now Pluto will be entering Aquarius and coming back to Capricorn for a couple of years, because it moves very, very slowly. So it's kind of the kickstart of a process, but it will take some time until it actually stays in Aquarius. But once it moves to Aquarius, it will be in Aquarius until 2040. It's a very, very long process. And I think this new moon could give us the sense of this new beginning, of this new fresh start, and this sense of regeneration. They're regenerating the planet together as well. As Pluto enters Aquarius, I think the climate will take another level of importance. Even if it's very important right now, it will become even more important, because it's a very Aquarian theme, causes and diets and etc. So I think diets, I'm talking about political decisions around diets, right? Becoming vegan because it's better for the planet. And so we're going to see more and more of these things as Pluto moves in Aquarius. But for now, this is the new moon. So take some space on this day to create a ritual, to welcome these energies, to welcome this new, just fresh new year. Imagine yourself as a shoot as well, as a plant, getting new leaves and blooming as well, and getting all of this fresh new energy, and sort of the sense of renewal of a sense of self, of a sense of individuality that's based on your values, and that's ready to let go of all of the grudges that are sort of holding you back. So this is the key ideas around this new moon in Aries. Is a powerful one, 0 degrees Aries on the equinox. So I hope you have a really beautiful one, a beautiful ritual as well with this new moon, a wonderful new start, and a happy new astrological year as well to all of you. I am Fernanda Paiva from Hitchhiking Stars, and I will be speaking to you soon.